Yo, what up, man? Chris, somebody checking back in, man. Back with the blog, man. Make sure that like button, that subscribe button your way, and I appreciate all the support, man. Question of the day, man, is URL appreciated? That's what I want to know, man. Is URL appreciated for all the things that they've done throughout the years, all the opportunities they provided people? Do we appreciate URL enough? Y'all make sure y'all put that in the comment section. There was an interview that dropped. Shout out to Direct. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you subscribe to his channel. I'm going to put the link in the bio. You can watch the entire, it's like an hour and 12-minute long interview with URL, Smack and Beasley. This was one of the more vulnerable interviews I've seen in a while. One of the more vulnerable interviews. And I kind of feel like URL needs to do more of this. I think it's one of the things that they're not on the grassroots enough. You know, a lot of times they don't really do a lot of interviews. You will hear a lot from Norbs, and they would not do a lot of interviews. You would hear a lot from P or whatever. And I kind of feel like they got a little out of touch with the fans. I think, you know, they should probably be on YouTube more. They should probably be on Instagram more. When I say YouTube, I mean like YouTube Live. They should take questions from the fans. They should talk to fans more. And I feel like that kind of buys you in. One of the things they teach you with YouTube is they say you should actually do more live videos. Now, you know, I don't do a lot of live videos. I do a lot of edited videos. But they say you should do a lot of live videos because there's a chat, and it also allows your chat to interact with you, which allows people to be more engaged in your video, and it grows your video more. That's what YouTube recommends. They're trying to actually get away from so many edited videos and teach you like, yo, there's super chats, there's all kind of things, and also doing live videos is another way for better interaction. So I kind of feel like between Instagram Live, YouTube Live, different stuff, they need to do more interviews. I know they can run up the champion every now and then whenever they got an issue they got to deal with and go sit down with Jay Black or whatever. But I feel like the fans don't get a chance to reach out and have a conversation with Smack and Beasley. It's one of the reasons why ARP was able to win so much in this market, other than just putting on good battles. And he was very transparent through YouTube. He'll get in front of this camera and he'll tell you when shit was bad. He'll tell you when stuff was good. He'll tell you what his thought process was. He'll give you a lot of insight. He'll take questions. And that allows people to be like, I rock with him because he actually answered my question. He actually discussed this topic that I posted on Twitter. He did X, Y, and Z. And I feel like to a lot of people, they like that. Hold on just a second. Bear with me, man. Let me turn this do not disturb off because I already know. Hold on. So there was a interview with Smack. Listen to what Smack said. This interview only had 5,000 views, so therefore a lot of y'all haven't watched this interview. But this is what Smack said. Very interesting.
I'm saying, like, yo, we got to deal with Caffeine, right? We had a situation, Caffeine. We spread out so much money in the middle of a pandemic where motherfuckers was able to fucking get money and feed their family where everything was shut down in America. You understand what I'm saying? In America, y'all. Yeah, that's basically you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, yo, now we got y'all. Like, yo, we gonna keep it going. Yo, look, I just caught a lick. We all good. We all good.
We set up testing stations to make sure.
Word, niggas have to get tested to come in the building. Flying niggas cross country, different states. Yo, come on, man. Come on, man. Stop playing with me, man. Stop playing. And it's just like, sometimes I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, we don't just get the proper, like, you know what I'm saying, you know, not the recognition, the appreciation. Right. That's a fact. The appreciation, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, that's what make me kind of like lose love for the game and just like not want to deal with certain, because it's just like, yo, bro, you
blood, sweat, and tears.
I could have been. I didn't have to spread it out.
Yeah, you're right.
I could have tucked that.
Yeah.
I could have tucked a lot of bags. But for me to, like, you know what I mean, keep the energy going in the culture and like, nah, yo, spread it out. Yo, we gonna do this. We gonna do that. You know what I mean? I'm good.
This was like I said, this was a real good interview. You don't really hear Smack and Beasley talk a lot about like this. They talked about YouTube. They talked about Summer Madness 2, Caffeine, building up new talent, finding new talent. You know, is the app hurting people's growth? They talked about a lot of different things, and we talk a lot about like abusing a plug, and I say that word a lot. I say, you know, just because Caffeine is giving you $100,000 for this particular battle doesn't mean you have to use the entire $100,000, because you end up raising someone's profile and raising their stock, and then next go round they're gonna be like, oh, you gave me $100,000 for that Drake card, so now I know that this is the kind of money y'all got, blah blah blah. But the flip side of that is they gave you $100,000 though. They gave you $100,000 is the flip side. They didn't have to give you $100,000, and maybe they shouldn't have gave you $100,000 because it inflated the market. But they did give it to you though. I tell this story a lot. I was on the phone with T-Top. He was like, man, shit just has been whack since the Caffeine situation. He was like, bro, if we not battling on Caffeine, we don't really be getting the kind of bread. You know, they be doing these app-only events and other stuff. Like, the money isn't there unless you get a Caffeine battle. So he said everybody's trying to get a Caffeine battle, because if it's an app-only battle, it doesn't pay a lot. He says, oh, the difference between an app-only and a Caffeine battle could be the difference of like 60 to 70% in pay of what you would get if Caffeine added money to it, as opposed to just the money just strictly coming from the URL app. So he said, he's like, man, you know, this Caffeine thing is running out. He said, Beasley always told me, get the money while it's here. May not always be here. Get the money while it's here. I personally feel like URL probably should have just spreaded that money around. Maybe not have spent so much money on the battles, and who knows, maybe Caffeine, because you know they reported losses and all that kind of stuff. Maybe Caffeine would have not have felt like they lost so much money if the money didn't get spent so heavily. But the flip side of that is that URL did spend the money heavily. So when people are getting $40,000 and $50,000 a battle, and Lux and Geechee, who knows what Lux got for that Drake card? You know what I'm saying? He probably got a gang of bread to battle on that Drake card. At the end of the day, they got the money. They took money from a white company because it's owned by Fox, Caffeine is, and they gave it to Lux and Twerk and Surf and all these kind of people. So say what you want to say about URL. I don't like a lot of the BS that they do. You know, sometimes I feel like they're not really honest and they're not really transparent in certain situations. And I obviously don't like the block battles, and I obviously don't like the fallout with Norbs. I think Norbs should have got probably some bread in that situation without having to go through what he went through. And I don't like the lawsuit, you know, with RBE or whatever. So, but I understand why people like ARP and Norbs and all them don't like URL. But I'm a blogger. I don't look at URL the same. URL, bro, is if I look at my total history of YouTube earnings, URL is probably responsible for probably 75% of my YouTube earnings. The rest of it will be King of the Dot recaps, RBE recaps, different leagues. The other is 75% is talk. Like, every blogger should be appreciative of URL. It's on basically the way we made money over the years is talking about URL battles. And I'm going to share a little bit. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to this channel and watch the entire. But he talks about the app, because I know a lot of people do not like the URL app. Now, I don't know why you don't really like the app. When I click on the app and watch a battle, it plays. And I mean, that's all I could ask for $7.99. You know what I'm saying? I just watched Mike Tyson, and that shit was buffering and on some bullshit. And this is Netflix. This is probably $1 billion company. You know what I'm saying? Way more money than URL got, and they can't even get the buffering right because probably too many people was trying to watch that certain situation, you know, that fight or whatever. I don't know, or maybe it was some other stuff going on. But if you can show Netflix some type of grace and not unsubscribe to Netflix when they mess up, then I feel like other platforms should be the same way. But like I say, I watch a battle, it plays on the URL app. I can't necessarily be mad. Do I like the fact that it's not on YouTube? The only thing about YouTube is just more accessible, it's free, and it's easier to share battles. That is one of the major things with the URL app. You can't really share content. You can't screen record. You can't, you can't share the video. I can't just like take the video off the app and then be like, yo, let me show it to my cousin. Like, yo, check out this battle. You can't necessarily do that, which you can do with a YouTube video or whatever. But they talk a lot about, let me play some of this, man. Let me play why URL left YouTube.
To watch it back. How important is it to remove your content from there? Well, not totally remove it, but switch it over to something that you own, like the URL app, knowing the conflict it could cause for the fans or the confusion it might cause in the beginning. Mm-hmm. How important is that to say, well, I'm sorry it's not as accessible to y'all anymore, but this is ours.
Right.
And we have to figure out a way to shift this and move this over. How important that is to like business owners first. Right. And then please explain like
I think it's very important for creators to have platforms that they control and own. A lot of times people put all of their eggs in one basket, or they place all of their property on these platforms that they don't control. And once the guidelines switch, or once they decide that they don't need your content anymore, you're left without a home. And I think a lot of times, just as young black men in the hip hop space, we just are creative. We don't think about ownership. And when you don't do that, you're at the mercy of whoever is distributing the product. So I think it's very key to own whatever you can. Of course, in the beginning, when you're building, you have to utilize all these different platforms, but ultimately the goal should be to have ownership of something that you can control.
And how do you explain that to like certain fans though, who just be like, well, it's just difficult. It's like I want to see it on my TV, on my laptop. I want to just watch it.
I think when people are accustomed to getting something for free, and when you see people who look like you that are creating, there's an expectation that it should be free. But when you have apps or platforms that emerge out of corporate America,
that's really important. What he said that when you see people that look like us, you expect it to be free, and it reminds me of something I saw on Instagram recently, where there was this black clothing designer, and he said that every time he tries to get a black person to purchase his clothes or take any kind of invested interest in his clothes, they always want to get it for free. And he said it's crazy to him because he's a black person, and black people will always, I'm just utilizing African Americans and blacks because that's what he was saying. And he was like, somehow within our own community, we always expect to get stuff for free. And he was saying that anytime I try to tell somebody like, yo, I'm a clothing designer, I got this dope t-shirt, the first thing they be like, it's like, yo, let me just get one. He said even his friends are like that. You know what I'm saying? And he's just like, we have such a hard problem with just saying, I will be one of the people that purchase what you're selling. Like, I'll invest in you first. And he says that being that he's in the clothing thing, he doesn't see that as much with other races, as he's able to kind of move in that space. But he says when dealing with his own race, everybody wants you to just give them a t-shirt, give them a pair of pants, give them a sweatshirt, instead of just saying, yo, I'll buy it. So it was real important that he kind of said that. Let me rewind that little part, but it was important that he kind of said that. Hold on.
There's an expectation that it should be free. But when you have apps, I think when people are accustomed to getting something for free, and when you see people who look like you that are creating, there's an expectation that it should be free. But when you have apps or platforms that emerge out of corporate America, they have no problem spending money on Netflix, Hulu, Apple, and all the other various, apps and platforms that have emerged. But when it's ours, they always look for a reason as to why they shouldn't have to pay for it. And I think that mindset needs to change, because they have no problem supporting all the others. Why not support something that you love that is owned by someone that created or is instrumental in creating something that you are into, something that you care about? Buy it. Right. You know what I mean? You buy all the other platforms for the movies and all the other things that come on. Buy the app.
That's interesting. We do talk about the app. We talk about it being $7.99. We also talk about it, like, oh, I don't really even watch battles. I don't even do this or that. We call ourselves battle rap fans, but we don't really watch battles or whatever. We don't really watch them on the app. And I have the URL app. I've had it literally ever since I got out of jail, and they've been doing the app. But do I watch a lot of I watch a lot of battles. I don't always watch them on the app. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I get links and other things off the app or whatever, and I end up editing with it or whatever. But for the most part, when someone, I still watch a lot of app battles here and there. But I do have a lot of subscriptions. I used to be subscribed to Zeus Network at one point in time. I wasn't watching shit on there, but I was subscribed to watching, I had Zeus Network for like 2 or 3 months. I was on like BT Plus. I had that for like a little bit. Obviously Netflix. I got Prime. I got Hulu. I had Peacock for a minute, back when Easy Them was all on there and stuff with his show. I've had certain things here and there that I don't have anymore, but I really was too busy to watch any of that stuff. But I still was paying for it. You know what I'm saying? So I know sometimes we say we don't want to get the URL app because, I don't even watch nothing on it. If you think about it, you don't watch a lot of stuff on a lot of stuff that you probably pay for. You know what I'm saying? So we do have a tendency to want stuff for free, but let's get back into it.
Purchasing, participate in it. It helps the culture grow.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Besides like the battlers and the talent, I think
the last 20, not 20, but I say like the last 15 years strong, we on the phone every morning, bro.
Word.
Every morning, basically figuring this shit out. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about the platform and build.
He's talking about starting the URL app and what it took to start the app.
In the app, like, you know what I'm saying? It took, this shit was like, premeditated. Like, you know what I mean? Where we at to where we at right now at this present moment. Like, you know what I mean? This shit was well thought out. It was like, I've been independent since I came outside in the streets, nigga, from Smack DVDs, man. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yo, listen, man, I'm getting to it. I'm selling DVDs out of my trunk. Same shit with the internet or anything that's going on when it's involving my energy and concentration on anything that I'm creating. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure that, like, you know what I'm saying, we get to it and we gonna design it in a way where, like, you know what I'm saying, like Beasley said, we gonna own whatever it is that we create. Mm-hmm. You understand? This shit wasn't by accident. It took us years to develop that app. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Years, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how many devs that, you know what I'm saying, I had to fucking sit down with to, like, you know what I'm saying, they couldn't get it right, took money. Yo, just give us this. Yo, we're going to take a retainer. Yo, here, just give us 10 racks. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And 10 racks ain't even shit. That ain't nowhere. That's not even a fraction of what it costs to design this shit. But me being so naive of like this, I know what I want, but don't know really like how to, like, you know what I mean, go about like communicating with the right people to actually bring it into fruition.
Who speaks your language.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? It took a minute, dogs. So, like, you know what I mean?
Real important. I talk a lot about this with business. You got to get people to buy into you as a person, not so much buy into the brand always. Sometimes they got to actually buy into you. And I think when you hear someone say how hard it was to create an app, we was doing it for years, he talks a lot in his interview about reinvesting the money from the app into other battles and stuff like that, and how, he's always trying to provide opportunities for people. That makes you sometimes want to buy into the person. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I really want to see Smack win. I don't mind supporting this, and this. URL don't do enough of this, which is why sometimes I feel like they lost support over the years. They not in the groundwork level. I'm gonna try to let me see if I can find where he talks
finally,
about that.
Trying to create opportunity for that have a certain skill set that love to do a certain form of expression that, like, we give an opportunity to.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
I'm gonna give not to cut you. I'm gonna give you an example of what he just said. Right, last year, we took a look at all of the battle rap platforms, right, or the leagues, right? And I think ones that you would say would be behind URL. I think the most they did was about 26 releases on YouTube, and then the other ones were like 18 and 17 battles released
for the year.
For the year,
okay,
right? For the year, we shot 139 battles.
Wow.
Last year, 139, and that's all due to the app. We take the money that we get and we spread it around. You know what I mean? We utilize the funds that are generated. Sometimes when you see bigger events and we don't have the budgets aren't as robust, even when we were dealing with Caffeine, we would pull money from the app to be able to make battles happen. Like Summer Impact, the big battle when we had everybody on it. That was because we had funding from the app. Mm-hmm. So we're always trying to make the culture bigger. We're always trying to expand our profile and our footprint online by utilizing the funds that we get from the app. So people don't understand, it's not just you getting the battles, you're also actually helping us put bigger battles and situations together. So if you look at that, 139 battles, not include, we actually shot more because
there's. Let me elaborate on that too, because you forgetting a major key. You forgetting a major key, bro. You know I love you, boy. But let me just add on. Like you ain't say nothing wrong. But not only that, like, you know what I mean, we put money back that we get from the app to keep it going, to get the battles that the culture want to see. When we go out and we find these corporate sponsors and check, we break bread and spread it out throughout the whole community. Right. Everybody eats.
Everybody eats.
Everybody eats. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to deal with Caffeine, right? We had a situation, Caffeine. We spread out so much money in the middle of a pandemic where motherfuckers was able to fucking get money and feed their family where everything was shut down in America. You understand what I'm saying? In America, dog.
Yeah, that's basically
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, now we got y'all. Like, we gonna keep it going. Look, I just caught a lick. We all good.
We all
good.
We set up testing stations to make sure.
Word, niggas have to get tested to come in the building, flying niggas cross country, different states. Yo, come on, man. Come on, man. Stop playing with me, man. Stop playing. And it's just like, sometimes I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, we don't just get the proper, like, you know what I'm saying, not the recognition, the appreciation.
Right. That's a fact.
The appreciation, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, that's what make me kind of like lose love for the game and just like not want to deal with certain, because it's just like, yo, bro, you,
blood, sweat, and tears.
I could have been. I didn't have to spread it out.
Yeah, you're right.
I could have tucked that.
Yeah.
I could have tucked a lot of bags. But for me to, like, you know what I mean, keep the energy going in the culture and like, just spread it out. We gonna do this. We gonna do that. You know what I mean? I'm good regardless, because you know what I mean. I know how to get to the bag. I've been getting in the bag before I even came in the game. I was already up before this whole battle rap started. I still got DVD money, man.
Because I still got DVD money, man. But yeah, definitely. This kind of interesting, man. You know what I'm saying? This was a real good interview. I can't front. It was definitely a good interview. It's another part on here. I don't necessarily agree with this. They asked this question. Let's get to this.
How do you feel about battlers that feel like the app is stunting their growth? Like if they were to be put on YouTube.
That is so false, right? Because you have to really look at the landscape, right? And if you look at the last couple of years that the app has been in existence, it's been about 5 years or so, right? And all of the new stars emerged from the app. None of them have big YouTube history.
Let me speak on this real quick. You know, I talk about this a lot. Let me set this tripod up. You know what I'm saying? Back up or whatever. Hold on. Bear with me. I talk about this a lot. They asked Beasley to name the new stars that come from the app or come from Crucible, I guess, right? He named, let me see. He named Easy the Block Captain, Real Sick, Lou Castro. He was saying that these people are basically, they came from the PG or the Crucibles or URL, and they're bigger than any other league's new stars. Like meaning that RBE, Black Ice, Bullpen, Riot, King of the Dot, none of these people created any new stars. The newest talent is still Drugs, it's still Easy, it's still Lou Castro, it's still Real Sick, it's still Jada Nightwing, it's still that. Now, honestly, he's actually true. There is really nobody that created any real new stars. You know what I'm saying? RBE probably biggest person was Caution. She got all the way to the Queen, Chrome 23 tournament or whatever. And, you got Dollar Bill, who's nice, but none of these guys have a profile that star. Easy is over there doing his thing, but for the most part, he's kind of right. There's nobody on Easy's roster that's bigger than Real Sick, and there's nobody on RBE that's bigger than Real Sick. So he is kind of true. But I will say this. I think one of the things that they routinely forget is that all of those guys battled on Caffeine, and Caffeine was free. And there was a lot of times that Easy to Block Captain, true, he did come up in the app era. That is true. It was in the app era. URL had the app when Easy was winning his 12 in a row. But he was battling on Caffeine for free. All his battles, he really didn't do, but I think one app only event. All of his battles was on Caffeine for free. So even though he came up in the app era, you didn't really know who Easy was because of the app. You knew who he was because he was on Caffeine and it was free. And you could watch it for free whether you had the app or not. You could log on, create a profile, watch Easy, and you saw his ascension. If you could turn on YouTube and watch YouTube for free, you can turn on the app and watch it for free. And that's how Easy blew up. Real Sick and these guys also battle on Caffeine as well. I think Lou Castro was on Caffeine when he was battling. I think if you go back to his Arsenal battle, hey, big dog with Arsenal, I think it was on Caffeine too. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of those guys still battle on Caffeine for free. They didn't just be only on the app. Like people like Eunice and people like that and some of those guys, they're only on the app. But Real Sick, Lou Castro, Easy to Block Captain, the list goes on to some of the other people. Jada Nightwing and Twerk, I think that's a Caffeine battle. You know what I'm saying? That was a big battle at the time, Jada Nightwing versus Twerk. I think it was on Caffeine. You remember they were doing those super fights and stuff. Even Nun and all these guys, they all battled on Caffeine for free. So if Caffeine is free, you can't compare it to the app because the app costs. So when you say, in the app era, people blew up to be stars or blew up to have some type of name, they also battled for free on Caffeine. Do not leave out the Caffeine part. Caffeine was free and it gave a lot of people exposure. That's why it's going to take Eunice and Hansel, and it's going to take, all of these guys. It's going to take them a lot more to blow up than it will Easy and it will Lou Castro and all the rest of these guys. Real Sick. It's going to take them a lot more. Real Sick was on a Drake card, free on Caffeine. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to take a lot more to blow these people up than it will because they were free on Caffeine. And every time we get in these interviews, nobody ever mentions this. They always be like, oh yeah, they let Beasley just sit there and say, oh, these guys came up in the app era. We didn't go to the app to figure out who Real Sick was. He was free on Caffeine. That's how we tapped in and knew who he was, and the list goes on. But dope interview. You know what I'm saying? Let me make sure I show it again. This is the URL episodes featuring Smack, the Don't Quote Me podcast, direct. Only got 5,000 views, man. Numbers up. Very good interview. Very good interview. You know what I'm saying? They even talked about who was better on 100. You know what I'm saying? It was who at their A game, who was one of them, who's the best? Surf? Twerk? I don't know. They talk about a lot on this podcast. Chris, I'm biased. Holla at your boy.